What was supposed to be like a happy day has turned out to be a day of sorrow as the police of Oyo State has begun investigating the circumstances surrounding the alleged death of 32 children during a stampede at the FUNFAIR in Ibadan, the state capital, on Wednesday. Punch Metro gathered from multiple eyewitness accounts that the stampede occurred when participants rushed to gain access to the venue of the event, reportedly organized by the ex-queen of the ONI of IFE, Prophetess NAOMI Shikini, and an Ibadan-based broadcaster, Oriyomi Hamzat. Investigations by Punch Metro also showed that the victims were stampeded to death while trying to break through the main gate of the school. It was further gathered that the provision was made for 5,000 children, but the number that turned out for the event was reportedly over 7,500. Narrating the scenario in a video, an eyewitness at the scene of the incident, who did not want to mention her name, noted that the organizers had invited 5,000 participants for the FUNFAIR, but the situation got out of control when the scene became rowdy, leading to a stampede that led to several casualties. Another participant claimed he lost a child during the incident. Multiple sources told our correspondents that some of the children, including their parents, were said to have kept vigil at the venue of the event. One of our correspondents observed that an uncontrollable crowd caused gridlock on the Bashir Aper Road. An administrative officer at the Partners Hospital Bashir, where some of the victims were admitted, Tolutokbai, said the affected children were brought in some minutes past 8 a.m. 6 children were brought into the hospital, out of which 5 died while the other one is recuperating. One of the parents of the deceased, who was sighted at the hospital premises Welling, said, "I did not bargain for what happened to me. We slept together at home yesterday, that's being Tuesday, not knowing that it would be the last time. My daughter is not dead. Doctor, please wake her up." Oh, that's a sad one. I've seen a lot of think pieces with a lot of people blaming the organizers, talking about how they probably didn't put precautionary measures in place. And I also saw someone mentioned that the announcement on radio was just too much, and that was what attracted the number of people who came. Okay, so here is the thing. To start with, I feel like the best people are hungry. People are very hungry. Towards the end of this vlog, I will show you some comments I saw on Facebook from people who have experienced similar, situations. Like I said, people are really hungry. And when someone is hungry, especially people who have children, they are desperate and they will do anything to get food for them. Because from all the story, from what I heard, they said people even slept over at this venue a night before. You can imagine, people slept over like a night before, and the event was slated to start at 10 a.m. It's very sad that what happened, and I would say that maybe, listen, with the way people are hungry, no matter the number of security, in fact, even the security you're calling would join in dragging for food. Because that policeman you're calling, that bouncer you're calling, he needs rice, he needs beans. So in my opinion, aside people that love to chase clouds, I feel like if you genuinely want to give, if you genuinely want to help, you don't need to make so much noise. You can go to, if it's in the community, you go to the village head. How many families are here? Gather the women in the king's palace. Now the king know, little communities, they know themselves. You drop the number of rice for them. These things are for you. You move. Or another method is through the church. For example, and when I say through the church, you don't need to announce it 20 Sundays before. On the 5th of so day, we are sharing rice, we are sharing beans. My dear, people will even go and gather people from other denominations and come. People will go and gather and it will become rowdy. The best is, like in my church, on Macy Sunday, Catholics will understand. Macy Sunday, that's the Sunday after Easter. Someone brought bags of rice to be distributed. After Mass, the priest announced, "We have shared some bags of rice." Like they divided it. When you come, you just pick one. If you know you genuinely need this thing, go upstairs and take one at a time. And it was very orderly. They did that for all three masses. And now listen, before people go and start telling people, oh, more that one don't go. And because of how impromptu it was, people did not rush, people took their time. And then another time, someone gave 10 bags of rice in my parish. And because of the crowd, the charismatic people in my parish, it was during adoration, they divided it, put it in sack bags. It was rice and beans. And the priest announced, you cannot take rice and beans. I don't want to hear, Father, I want to cook rice and beans together. No. So like I stated earlier, a lot of think pieces, like I saw this on Facebook, the fatal stampede at a children's fun fair in Oyo is sad. It was an avoidable tragedy caused by radio hype and a celebrity weaponizing poverty. Hope that everyone involved faces the music without exceptions. And I saw this comment, how did she weaponize poverty? Wasn't it a charity event meant for a stated number of kids? And the person replied, was anybody's name mentioned here? What do you determine a stated number of kids by going on radio to repeatedly trumpet an event promising cash and in a state filled with millions of children, young people, and you think that's not a recipe for disaster? Well, this person really has a point. There was really no point making such announcements, in my opinion. Like I said, the best way is to distribute items without prior knowledge. So someone shared this post on Facebook saying, yesterday I saw a video of NAOMI talking about FUNFAIR for children. She shared this yesterday, by the way, at IBADAN. She said they prepared for 5,000 children from 1 to 13 years. I was like, this is a good thing. In my mind, I wished her well. I was actually looking forward to see pictures from the events today. It's really sad to read this afternoon that as at 5:30 a.m., the place was crowded with people who had even been there since midnight. It has been reported that there was a stampede even before the time the event was slated to start, and there are dead children from the unfortunate incidents. This is sad indeed. How does a beautiful concept turn ugly? Well, that's why Igbo people say, Ogome Munam. You can be doing good though, but it will backfire and it will now look like you never intended to do good in the first place. This is not the first time. Someone actually dropped this comment. Last year, we decided to share 5 kg of rice and transport money to mothers only in the community. We had to use a fenced school with 2 gates, one for entry and one for exit. We had police, Amotekun, that's the local vigilante that exists in the southwest part of Nigeria, bouncers at the entry gate to make sure that only women who appear to have had children got the gift. This is very funny, the criteria. Then we put up the transport fare into an envelope and stapled it to each bag of the sealed 5 kg rice. Despite our preparations and packs of about 5,000, come and see fight at the entry gate. Thugs wanted to hijack the process and carry the rice. I had to confront them myself, and I was the one handling the package to the women. Even us where they share no pick one bag, who you be. Some women wanted to pick more than once. Some people brought young girls that it was obvious they never had a child to come and collect. In preparing, you have to think of the worst case scenario and plan for it, and even prepare for unplanned attacks. It's a serious thing. One of us had his shirt torn by women trying to force their way to enter. You see, when it rains, it pours. All this thing boils down to one thing: starvation, hunger, bad governance. Leave Matao, they will uproot that gate. The one my church did. They had to escape through the roof because people broke the fence, not gate to fence. That's why I'm telling you that people are hungry. So the best way is impromptu dispensing. You don't need to announce it. Let it be that those who came to church were lucky. Yes, and they got it. Because people will not plan. But once you tell them they are coming, oh, I want 5 bags, they're already preparing themselves mentally. But once you take them unawares, they will not really be able to. Or as I said, you go through community heads. You go to a community, like you go to a compound. Please, who is the head of this family? Invite all the women by so time. I want to see all the women. They will not know why you're calling them. When they come, take. There's no, if you no come, that's your loss. That's just it. because now this NAOMI's Christmas is ruined. Whether you like it or not, her Christmas is ruined because as much as I know that this is Nigeria, so nothing will happen to her. But her conscience, she will forever feel guilty, even though she wasn't there, because I learned it happened so early, she was still in her hotel. But then her conscience will always tell her, God, this thing happened because of me. Is there anything I could have done differently? But then it is what it is. So in doing charity, we need to be careful because, man, if they do charity, can't enter better big. There was a similar case on Facebook. Those of you on Facebook may have followed it. Sometime, I think on Saturday or so, a lady, talked about somebody who was stranded in the UK and needed 15 million naira to complete her school fees or risk being deported. And a lady on a social media, a Facebook influencer decided to take it up and said, okay, let's do this. Before people start saying, oh, it's her money, the money is going to her. Long story short, the lady said she will never crowdfund for anybody. If she sees any of such messages asking for help, she's going to block the person. So, my dear, charity is a very sensitive thing. That's why, personally, when I do charity, I love to give through a society in the Catholic Church known as St. Vincent de Paul. It's a structured society. They know how to go about these things. Very organized. I just like, because stress. Maybe person come, they call me, come, they don't go. So, my dear, there is hunger in the land. If you ask most of these people now, these hungry people, they voted the man there. It's our brother. You know, since as hunger don't they squeeze you. So somebody responded to the man who talked about the precautionary measures he took when he did his own charity. Someone said, if you did any form of food sharing last year and it did not turn violent, don't use it to compare this year. Just thank God. Don't compare. Situations have changed. How much was a bag of rice last year? How much is it now? How much was 5 liters of vegetable oil last year? How much is it now? There is severe hunger in the land. People who were not beggars before, I have seen turn beggars now. To share food freely now is a very severe sport. So, my dear, it's even better you don't share than share and land in trouble or use any of the methods I prescribed. Deal? Deal. So, what other idea do you think is appropriate for people who desire to distribute food or materials this Christmas period, as is the season of giving and sharing?